Hi, welcome in. Let the room grow quiet and low lit. You can soften the screen, settle your shoulders, and let your jaw unclench. Notice the slow tide of your breath. A bamboo valley opens in the dark like a green hush. Silver leaves tilt and right themselves. Mist drifts between trunks, and somewhere a creek threads over small stones. The air is cool and clean, touched with rain and fresh shoots. You might picture pandas nearby, dappled shapes unhurried in the glade. If this gentle space truly helps, you might tap like, subscribe, or leave a soft hello, only if it earns your calm. We move at the pace of the hills, letting simple truths arrive like footfalls in soft moss. Nothing to do, nothing to solve. You can rest inside the sound of leaves and the steady weight of the blanket. If thoughts wander, return to the breath. Slow in, slower out, and to the quiet silhouettes of pandas under moonlight. Stay as you are, safe and warm, while the night takes its time. When you're ready, we'll begin, one gentle truth at a time. Here in this hush, though dinner is mostly leaves, the panda is entirely a bear. Muscle and bone built for slow power, paws padded and heavy, a heart that beats the old forest rhythm. In the lineage story, pandas sit with the bears, not with raccoons or cats. Herbivore by choice, not by ancestry. A panda simply meets the night with bamboo and quiet patience. The giant panda is a bear that chose a calmer path through time. In cool bamboo forests, it trades chasing for chewing, pacing its days with long meals, unhurried walks, and soft naps between green thickets. Pandas conserve energy like careful lanterns in mist, letting the mountains keep watch while they settle into the hush of leaves. A panda wears black and white as living terrain. The dark fur blends with shade and trunks. The white rides snowfields and winter light. In patchy forest and drifting weather, pandas disappear into contrast, the way stones vanish under ripples. The pattern is beauty, but also a quiet shield that lets a bear eat in peace. And those bold eye patches are more than decoration. Like simple masks, they may help pandas recognize one another's faces in a dim understory, marking who is friend, rival, or stranger. In the hush of bamboo, where scent and sound travel softly, a panda's dark ovals become small beacons of identity, a way to say, I am here. Every panda carries a hidden tool, a sixth finger. It is not a true digit, but a clever bone and tendon that fold into a firm pseudo-thumb. With it, pandas pinch stalks, roll them, and strip crisp ribbons with quiet precision. A craftsman's grip held by a gentle bear. The forest offers plenty. The panda's hand knows how to accept. Although a panda eats plants, the panda still carries a carnivore's gut. The stomach is simple, the intestine short, the enzymes tuned to a hunter's past, not a ruminant's chew and ferment. So the panda eats often and in great volume, coaxing strength from green stalks, honoring ancestry with every bite, while choosing the quiet path of bamboo. A panda's slow metabolism lets the panda live unhurried in cool mountains. Body temperature drifts slightly lower, heart and movement idle like an ember under ash. With less fuel burned, the panda trades speed for steadiness, letting mist and shade do part of the work of keeping calm, saving warmth for climbs and for the soft labor of chewing. Because bamboo is low in calories, the panda saves energy with slow, gentle movements. Steps are measured. Pauses are long. Naps reset the tide of effort. The panda moves like a careful metronome, spending just enough to gather, peel, and eat, then settling again. A rhythm that stretches the day and makes a small meal last. Bamboo dominates a panda's menu, yet the panda samples grasses, fruits, and tender shoots when the forest offers them. A fallen apple, a sweet vine, a burst of stems after rain, small notes around a steady theme. These extras color the panda's diet like lanterns in fog. Brief tastes that add variety without breaking the calm. A panda selects tender shoots in spring and tougher stems later as the seasons shift. In April greens, the panda favors soft, protein-rich tips. In summer and autumn, thicker combs satisfy the need for bulk. Following the mountain's calendar, the panda reads texture with teeth and touch, choosing what the day invites and leaving the rest for tomorrow. To match its quiet menu, the panda evolved broad, ridged molars and massive jaw muscles tucked under a round, gentle face. The teeth spread pressure like millstones. The muscles pull slow and sure, turning tough stalks into soft fibers. You can picture the panda working leaf by leaf, not hurried, just steady. An architecture of bite and patience shaped by generations of green meals and unbroken afternoons. With that strength gathered in its cheeks, the panda crushes bamboo in calm, grinding bites. Stems click, rind splits, and the inner pith yields like damp paper. The rhythm is unshowy and precise, a metronome you might match to your breath. Slow in slow her out, while the panda turns a bundle of shoots into neat, pale ribbons and lets the fragrance of green drift into the cool air. Because life on bamboo is a marathon, the panda spends much of the day eating, resting, and then eating again. Hours fold into gentle routines. Gather, peel, chew, pause. A nap in the shade. Another quiet meal when mist lifts. The panda treats time like a wide river, stepping in and out without splash, carrying itself forward on small, repeated comforts that keep the body warm and the mind untroubled. Instead of hibernating when winter leans closer, the panda chooses milder corners of the mountains. It wanders rather than sleeps the season away, trading deeper snow for sheltered valleys, harsher wind for softer light. The panda follows paths it knows by scent and slope, unrolling a personal map of warm pockets and quiet stands, letting the land itself be the blanket that gets it through the cold. As elevations shift and the calendar turns, the panda tracks where bamboo is most nourishing. Spring offers tender shoots, rich and soft. Later months bring sturdier stems that fill and satisfy. Reading texture with teeth and touch, the panda climbs or drifts lower to meet what the forest is ready to give. A slow pilgrimage between green tiers, where each choice is simple. Take what's fresh and leave the rest for tomorrow. As the mountains breathe through the year, a panda follows the temperature up and down. In summer, a panda climbs higher, where bamboo shoots are tender and breezes thin the heat. In winter, a panda drifts lower into valleys that hold sun and shelter. This quiet staircase through altitudes keeps a panda close to fresh food without long journeys or haste. A seasonal glide that matches patience to the land. Though solitary, a panda keeps a soft conversation with neighbors, using scent marks and occasional calls. A panda rubs trees with cheeks and glands, leaving a map of who passed and when, and pauses to sniff updates along the trail. These gentle signals let a panda share territory like a library, quiet, orderly, and understood without meeting face to face. A panda also speaks in small voices. When paths cross, a panda often bleats, light, goat-like notes that say, "I am near, I mean no trouble." The sound threads through bamboo without startling the forest, easing the first moments of a panda meeting, so everyone keeps their calm and space. It's social etiquette tuned for mist and leaves. In the breeding season, a panda becomes more vocal and precise, adjusting pitch, length, and rhythm so pandas can coordinate. A panda's bleats lengthen into phrases, Chirps rise, moans deepen, and timing signals readiness and distance. These variations help a panda find a partner across hillsides where sight is short and scent can wander. Beyond bleats, a panda keeps a pocket of quiet words, chirps to inquire, honks to announce, short barks when surprised, and soft huffs during close contact. Blended with scent messages, this panda vocabulary lets individuals share mood, status, and intent without wasting energy. In a hushed forest, a panda's language is small, but it says enough. Even in thick bamboo, a panda's call knows its way. Each panda carries a signature, pitch, pulse, and small bends at the ends of notes that travels through stems like a slow ribbon of sound. Neighbors don't need a clear view to recognize who is near. The forest itself answers back with memory, returning familiar voices so a panda can move with confidence and calm. Between songs, a panda writes notes in scent. With careful rubs and shoulder presses, a panda leaves messages on favored trees. A quiet script that says name, mood, and how long ago it passed. Other pandas pause, read with a breath, and continue on. It is a bulletin board in green, always open, always polite, keeping the path gentle and the night untroubled. Using scent glands beneath the tail, a panda marks roots and edges so pandas can share space without meeting nose to nose. At bends in a trail or at a crossroads, a panda sets a small boundary or invitation, then moves on. These signals help pandas avoid conflict, saving energy for climbing, eating, and the slow work of staying warm. Sometimes a panda performs a quiet acrobatics. It leans back, lifts into a brief handstand, and places scent higher on the trunk. The higher mark rides the breeze and hints at size and strength, letting a panda speak clearly without raising its voice. The pose looks playful in moonlight, but it is practical, a tidy way to be seen by noses drifting past. A panda also chooses its paper. Some trunks hold scent longer: resinous bark, shaded bark, rough bark out of the direct wind. By picking these places, a panda makes signals last across weather and time. And by returning to refresh them, a panda keeps the message steady. In a quiet valley, long-lived marks turn the forest into a gentle, shared map. Thanks to these quiet messages, a panda can live alone, yet still find pandas when it matters. Scent posts sketch gentle paths across the hills. Calls thread the bamboo like small lanterns of sound. When a panda needs company or space, the forest already holds the notes. Reading and leaving signs becomes a soft dialogue that keeps peace now and opens doors later. Timing is everything for a panda when spring lifts the valleys. For only a brief, fertile window, a female panda comes into heat, and nearby pandas tune their roots and voices to meet at the right hour. Days feel wider, but the clock is narrow, so a panda listens harder, follows fresher marks, and lets chance be helped by careful attention. Like other bears, a panda likely uses delayed implantation to match seasons. After the first steps toward life, the tiny embryo rests before settling in, waiting for the green world to line up with need. This gives the panda flexibility, so birth can meet the softest weather and the best bamboo. Blending biology with the rhythm of mist and light. After mating, a panda's pregnancy timing can vary because the embryo pauses. Weeks can stretch or shorten before development resumes, and the quiet body prepares. This gentle delay means a panda welcomes a cub when the valley offers shelter and food, allowing strength to be shared between mother and growing life without haste. A panda usually raises one cub because panda energy budgets are tight. Milk is rich, nights are long, and the work of guarding, warming, and feeding is constant. When twins arrive, a panda often chooses the stronger to ensure survival, pouring calm focus into one small life. In a lean forest, devotion becomes a measured, tender strategy. In human care, keepers may twin swap so a panda mother nurses both panda twins. Every few hours, one cub rests warm in an incubator while the other returns, wrapped in shared scent and quiet cloth, so the panda mother accepts the switch without stress. The rotation shares milk, grooming, and warmth, letting each tiny panda gather strength while the den stays calm and the bond remains unbroken. At birth, a panda cub is tiny and pink, eyes sealed, nearly hairless, and light enough to fit between a panda mother's paws. She cradles the squeaks against her chest, turning the body with careful lips, warming and grooming in slow cycles through the night. The den is narrow and dim. The world is heartbeats, milk, and the steady hush of the panda mother's breath. As days pass, a panda cub's black and white begins as faint ink around eyes and ears, then deepens across shoulders and legs until the small panda looks like a pocket version of the adult. The new coat thickens the warmth of the den, soft against bamboo shavings, and when the panda mother noses the markings, it feels like seeing a name take shape. Around 2 months, a panda cub opens its eyes to a quiet panda den. The first blinks are slow, as if learning the shape of light. Hearing sharpens, balance steadies, and the cub tests the world with soft paws. The panda mother hums and rearranges the bedding, guiding the small body into comfortable corners where naps lengthen and curiosity can wake gently. By 6 months, a panda cub starts nibbling bamboo beside its panda mom. Teeth meet pith with tiny clicks, the pseudo-thumb clumsy but eager, and green ribbons mix with milk in unhurried meals. Between mouthfuls, the young panda tumbles, climbs low branches, and returns to the safe, broad shadow of the mother, who chews steadily and shows the slow rhythm that keeps them both warm. When ready, a young panda wanders off to learn a panda life alone. The forest widens. Familiar trails become quiet classrooms of scent and slope. The panda tests, climbs, finds water, and reads bamboo patches the way elders do, slowly building a personal map. Good habits settle in. Eat, rest, move a little. Listen, until the panda's days feel like its own, simple and steady under the mountains. Fossils show the panda pseudo-thumb has deep, ancient roots in panda history. Early relatives already carried that enlarged wrist bone, a small hinge of possibility that let a panda grip green stalks more securely. Over ages, the panda refined the clamp, pairing it with broad molars and strong jaws, so leaf and shoot could be held, turned, and peeled with quiet precision. Even today, a panda seeks protein-rich bamboo parts, a panda strategy for energy. In spring, the panda favors tender shoots packed with nutrients. Later, it shifts to leaves and pith as the stems harden. By choosing the richest bits first, the panda balances a lean menu, keeping muscles fueled without haste, and saving long journeys for when the mountains ask. On rare occasions, a panda may sample other foods, but bamboo still defines pandas. A panda might taste grasses, fruits, or a fallen nut, and in human care, even a slice of sweet carrot. Yet these are side notes. The core remains the steady green of bamboo. Meal after meal, season after season, a calm reliance that shapes the panda's body, routine, and range. All of this explains why a panda moves slowly. Panda patience conserves power. The panda's gut is simple, the fuel modest, so every step is measured, and every pause has purpose. By keeping motion gentle and plans unhurried, the panda turns the day into a long, even breath. Enough to climb, enough to chew, enough to stay warm, letting quiet choices carry it through. Not all pandas look the same. High in China's Qinling Range, a panda wears brown and white tones instead of stark black and white. The palate is softer, like chestnut brushed with cream, helping a panda blend into leaf litter and pale rock. This Qinling panda still moves with the same calm rhythm, gripping shoots with its pseudo-thumb and letting the misty forest set the pace. Genetic quirks may shape how a Qinling panda's colors appear. Small shifts in pigment pathways, fur density, and how light scatters through the coat can tip a panda toward warm browns or cooler whites. Over time, the local forest and snow pattern may favor this blend, so the panda's palette becomes both inheritance and adaptation, a gentle compromise between ancestry and hillside. In northern ranges, a panda follows a different bamboo calendar than southern pandas. Snow arrives sooner, spring loosens later, and each valley offers its own schedule of shoots, leaves, and pith. A northern panda waits a little longer, then climbs when sun returns. A southern panda moves earlier, chasing tender growth. The mountains write the dates, and a patient panda reads them. No matter the region, a panda lets bamboo set a panda's yearly rhythm. When tips are rich, a panda lingers and feasts. When stems toughen, a panda drifts to greener corners. Meals, rests, and small journeys all orbit the plant's quiet clock, turning the panda's life into a soft tide of green, ebb and flow, measured not by hours, but by the forest's own timing. By tracking shoots and leaves, a panda reads the forest like a panda book. Fresh chew marks are margins, scent posts are footnotes, and the slope itself divides chapters. Valley floors for winter, high ridges for late spring. With nose, teeth, and touch, a panda skims for the next bright line of nourishment, then closes the page with a nap, saving the rest of the story for tomorrow. A panda climbs trees with surprising ease for a stocky panda body. Claws find holds in the bark, hind paws push, and the round, careful weight rises branch by branch. From a low fork, a panda can nap, watch, or wait out a passing noise. The climb is never rushed. It's a quiet ladder to safety and a better view. A reminder that a panda's strength is balance as much as muscle. When streams run cold and clear, a panda can swim, another quiet panda skill. The water carries some of the weight, while broad paws paddle and the head rides steady above the ripples. A panda crosses to greener banks, cools in summer, or slips along a winding channel like a slow leaf. Even in water, a panda keeps the same unhurried rhythm that keeps energy whole. Over years, a panda memorizes safe paths that many pandas reuse. A notch in a trunk, a gentler slope, a rock that stays dry after rain, all become landmarks on a panda's inner map. Mothers show young pandas the first turns, and then the mountain teaches the rest. With time, a panda walks these corridors without thinking, saving effort and avoiding trouble. Where roads cut forests, a panda needs safe corridors so pandas can pass. Fences and traffic turn simple crossings into hard choices. The old, quiet routes break into fragments. A panda hesitates at the edge, reading scent and wind, while the easy line to food or family lies just beyond. With no bridge of green, a panda spends more energy and meets more risk. The idea is simple. Connect habitats so a panda can meet other pandas. Plant living bridges. Span roads with forested overpasses, and stitch valleys back to ridges. When the green threads rejoin, a panda can travel softly again, sharing space, finding mates, and following the bamboo calendar without fear. Joined land lets a panda keep its slow, sturdy peace. With paths connected and the forest unbroken, a panda day begins in the blue cool of morning. Breath shows in little clouds while dew beads on bamboo, and a panda settles into steady bites before the sun climbs. The first meal is unhurried and long, a quiet investment of energy that warms the body from the inside. When the light sharpens, the panda licks paws clean and pads away, leaving soft tracks where the leaves bend back. By midday, a panda drifts into mossy shade while the panda stomach works. Chewed ribbons of bamboo turn slowly to fuel, and the bear stretches, chest rising and falling like a small tide among ferns. In this recess of the day, the panda lets heat pass by, eyes half closed, ears twitching at insects and far water. The forest hums around it, a low chorus that asks for nothing and gives time. As evening cool gathers, a panda returns to feed, chewing through the dim light with patient, grinding bites. The panda chooses stems by feel and sound, crack, peel, soft core, and builds another calm hour of nourishment before the night settles fully. Fireflies stitch brief lines between trunks. Mist sinks. The panda's rhythm smooths to match the dark, steady and sure. Between meals, a panda naps in easy poses that free both panda forepaws. Belly up under a low branch, draped like a sleepy scarf over a log, or curled in a shallow nest of leaves, the forepaws rest, loose and ready for the next bundle of shoots. These open postures cool the body and spare the shoulders, turning short breaks into small restorations that keep the long day gentle. Before sleep, a panda refreshes scent marks to update the Panda bulletin board. A rub at a favored trunk, a careful press along the trail, perhaps a brief, practiced handstand to place a higher note. The messages ride the night air so other pandas can pass without fuss. Then the panda settles into the dark, like a stone in clear water, the forest reading calm, and the pages closed until dawn. Odd as it seems, a panda has been seen rolling in manure to blunt cold, a panda hack. On frosty days, the bear lowers its round shoulders and coats fur with a thin, earthy film, then settles back into the wind with less sting on the skin. The scent is strong, but the strategy is simple. The panda trades a little dignity for warmth, keeping energy for climbs, chewing, and the long, quiet night. Early on, a panda cub may sample a panda mother's feces to seed a panda gut microbiome. The taste is brief, the lesson is lasting. Helpful microbes arrive with each tiny mouthful, teaching the simple stomach how to unlock more from bamboo. In a few careful nibbles, the panda cub inherits a living toolkit so the green world can become fuel and growth can stay slow and steady. On rough bark, a panda rubs the glands beneath the tail to layer long-lasting panda scent. Scratches and resin hold the message like paper holds ink, letting a panda speak without sound for days. Passing bears pause, breathe, and understand who came through and when. With each gentle press, the panda keeps the valley organized, so crossings stay polite and energy stays saved. The sitting like a person pose lets a panda use both paws for bamboo. Leaned back against a trunk or rock, a panda frees its forepaws and pseudo-thumbs to grip, strip, and spin stems with quiet precision. The posture looks playful, but it is ergonomic wisdom. Less strain on shoulders, smoother chewing rhythm, and more bamboo turned into soft, steady warmth. Even panda play, tumbles, slides, and small wrestling matches, trains a panda for balance and quick retreats. Rolling down snowy slopes, climbing and scooting across fallen logs, the panda learns the angles of its weight and the feel of good footholds. Laughter, if bears had it, would sound like snow squeaking. The result is practical. A calmer, surer panda in a changing forest. A panda face is surprisingly expressive, and panda eye patches frame those looks like gentle brushstrokes. The dark ovals set off bright eyes, sharpening glances into questions, warnings, or mild curiosity. When a panda lifts its head, the markings do quiet work, amplifying mood without fuss, helping other pandas read intent across shifting light, so the forest stays orderly, and the next choice can remain slow and simple. In close calls, a panda prefers signaling, because panda fights waste precious energy. A pause, a sidestep, A brief huff at a boundary often settles things before claws are needed. The stocky body holds great strength, but the panda's economy is wisdom. Show enough to be understood, then return to chewing and rest. In a lean world, calm signals are the soft armor a panda wears. With sound and scent, a panda says, "I'm here," so pandas don't collide. A faint bleat threads the bamboo, while a rubbed trunk keeps time with the air. One panda reads the note, adjusts its route, and the valley avoids an argument. Messages overlap like gentle footprints on a trail. The panda's conversation is mostly quiet, mostly polite, and just clear enough to keep the peace. During courtship, a panda's bleat can advertise quality without a panda brawl. Notes lengthen, pitch steadies, and confidence carries through. Leaves the way moonlight carries across snow. A listening panda understands distance and readiness, testing replies before closing in. By letting voices do the first work, the panda saves strength for what matters and lets the mountain night remain undisturbed. In thick brush, a panda's nose is the compass every panda trusts. Moist air lifts threads of information. Who passed? Which shoot is sweetest? Where a safe path turns under ferns. The panda breathes, and the forest becomes a map. Each inhalation a page. Eyes watch for movement, ears keep the rhythm. But the nose leads, guiding the panda home with patient certainty. Human help learned to be gentle, so a panda keeps natural panda rhythms. Keepers move quietly, speak softly, and time feedings to the panda's own schedule. Lights stay low, dens stay simple, and human scent is masked, so the panda listens to wind and bamboo, not to us. The result is care that fades into the background, leaving the panda's calm routines intact and the forest's pace still in charge. By rotating twins, a panda mother can raise both panda cubs successfully. Keepers practice a careful twin swap. One panda cub rests warm off den while the other nurses. Then they trade, wrapped in shared scent, so the panda mother accepts the return. Milk, grooming, and warmth are balanced across the hours, giving each tiny panda the same steady start without shaking the mother's rhythm. Warm dens and soft stand-ins keep a panda cub cozy between panda swaps. A panda incubator hums at body temperature. Plush surrogates carry the mother's scent. Towels cradle small paws that haven't learned balance yet. Low light and hush keep the panda heartbeat slow, so sleep can knit bones, and the next quiet visit can arrive like a gentle tide of warmth. Climbing frames teach a growing panda the paths a wild panda will need. Logs, sloped rocks, and wobble bridges train a panda to place weight, pivot and descend safely. Keepers hide shoots and scatter scents so the young panda practices foraging and reading wind, turning play into mountain skill and building the quiet confidence that carries a panda through storms. The goal of modern programs is simple: a resilient panda in a connected panda world. Breeding plans protect panda diversity. Corridors stitch panda habitats across roads, and soft releases let a panda learn without losing its calm. When hills rejoin hills, a panda can meet other pandas, follow bamboo's calendar, and keep living at an unhurried, enduring pace. Beyond these hills, another kin treads the bamboo theme. The red panda is not a bear, yet the red panda browses shoots, naps in trees, and moves with the same evening hush. Where a giant panda leans on strength, the red panda leans on nimble balance and a ringed tail for warmth. Both share the green diet and the slow, deliberate mood. When a panda pauses to chew, its smaller cousin is often doing the same under a crescent of leaves. Though different, the red panda and the giant panda show how panda paths diverged. One panda stayed a true bear, heavy-jawed and broad-shouldered. The other panda walks a separate branch, cat-like in the trees, whiskered and slight. Both pandas met bamboo and answered with calm, each building its own tools and timings. In the shared hush of forests, two pandas solved the same riddle in two gentle ways. In culture, a panda symbolizes peace, patience, and soft strength. A panda's black and white calm appears on stamps, lanterns, school murals, and small charms carried for luck. People see a panda and remember kindness that does not rush, power that does not boast. When a panda sits to eat, the scene becomes a lesson. Make room for quiet, move kindly through crowds, and let simple meals stitch the day together. In science, a panda shows how diet can reshape a panda without changing its bare roots. Years of bamboo favored a panda's massive jaw muscles, broad molars, and the clever pseudo-thumb. Yet inside a panda, the simple carnivore gut remains. Researchers read this contrast and smile. A panda changed its habits first, then its hardware followed. Proof that steady choices can bend a life while the lineage stays true. For storytellers, a panda proves that quiet lives can be heroic panda lives. No chase, no roar, just a panda reading the wind, sharing space with scent and song, and keeping promises to the green hills. A panda survives by patience, care, and small, repeated courage. In that soft example, a panda invites us to try the same, to move gently and persist, and to let the night carry us forward. A panda coat insulates a panda from mountain cold and mist. Coarse guard hairs shed drizzle, while dense underfur holds heat like packed moss. Snow beads and slides. Dew clings to the tips, not the skin. In wind, the panda's black patches drink sunlight. The white reflects glare, balancing warmth as the bear chews. Wrapped in its own weather, the panda keeps a small, steady climate against the hills. Underfoot, thick pads help a panda tread quietly through wet leaves. The cushioned soles spread weight over stones and roots, softening each step so twigs don't snap and birds keep singing. On slit clay, the pads grip. In shallow streams, they muffle splashes. With paws that read the ground like braille, the panda moves in measured silence, saving energy while the forest stays calm. Curved claws let a panda climb trunks and grip slick logs. Hooked yet careful, the claws catch bark, while the panda leans its weight close to the tree, rising in short, deliberate bursts. Coming down, the panda often backs toward earth, claws breaking the slide, hind paws feeling for the next hold. In rain or frost, those arcs of keratin turn gravity into cooperation. A keen nose lets a panda read time, status, and identity from panda scents. A single breath can tell who passed, whether calm or ready to compete, and how long the message has rested on the bark. High notes fade first. Deeper ones linger. The panda assembles them into a timeline and a map. With each inhale, the path ahead grows clearer, and unnecessary meetings fall away. Gentle curiosity guides a panda cub, while a panda mother watches close. The small explorer mouths leaves, tests bark, totters up a low branch, then looks back for the mother's steady chuff. A nudge corrects course. A warm wall of fur becomes a pause button. In these slow lessons, the panda learns balance, scent, and patience, the quiet skills that make a calm life in the hills. As weather tilts and seasons shift, climate change challenges where a panda will find future bamboo. Warmer winters and out-of-sync rains can shrink the patches that once fed a panda year after year. Some slopes dry, others bloom too soon. The green calendar blurs. In this uncertainty, a panda survives by following freshness. But the hill it needs tomorrow may sit higher, cooler, and farther away. To adapt, a panda needs corridors, so pandas can climb to new altitudes. Forested ribbons across valleys and ridgelines let a panda move without crossing bare roads or towns. When the path of shade continues unbroken, A panda can track tender shoots uphill in spring and drift lower when frosts return. Corridors turn scattered refuges into a ladder a panda can climb in its own slow time. Big protected areas give a panda room to roam as seasons warm. Wide reserves hold many bamboo species and many elevations, so a panda can choose cooler pockets without leaving safety. When neighboring habitats are joined, a panda finds mates, fresh stems, and quiet beds within the same living map. Space becomes resilience, the freedom for a panda to keep its gentle routine. With camera traps and genetics, scientists map where a panda actually walks. Hidden lenses catch a panda's midnight crossings. Fragments of hair and scat carry a panda's identity in strands and cells. Layered on maps of slope, snow, and bamboo, these clues reveal the real highways of a panda landscape. The result is a truer picture of how a panda uses the mountains. Data turns into trails, so a panda can keep meeting other pandas. Plans for overpasses, replanted gullies, and fence gaps follow the routes a panda already trusts. Communities plant, rangers patrol, and the forest stitches itself back together. Step by step, a panda's quiet needs shape busy human work until the hills feel whole and a panda's journey stays calm, connected, and sure. Around the globe, panda diplomacy sends pandas to zoos on research loans. Under quiet, long-term agreements, a panda pair travels with caretakers and a plan, carrying bamboo diets and genetic hopes. The purpose is exchange, not display alone. Shared data, training, and careful breeding that keeps the panda story linked between mountain valleys in China and gentle enclosures far from home. Money from panda loans supports panda conservation back in China. Fees flow toward ranger salaries, habitat corridors, and bamboo surveys that map the forest's heartbeat. When a zoo meets its obligations, a panda in the wild may gain a protected hillside, a calmer trail, or a new bridge of trees. Small steps that together lengthen the quiet safety of panda lives. Cubs born abroad remain part of the panda network that manages pandas worldwide. When a young panda reaches the right age, it may return to China to join the broader family tree, carrying fresh genetics and practiced calm from human care. Scientists coordinate where that panda best fits, keeping lineages wide so the future holds many gentle branches. As politics shift, a panda's travels change. But panda science keeps going. Agreements pause, renew, or reroute. The bear stays above the argument, quietly eating and sleeping, while teams keep data sets tidy and health checks regular. This steady work, tracking calls, diets, and breeding, binds panda projects together until boarders open their hands again. Wherever they go, pandas draw attention that funds panda habitats. A quiet face at the glass brings visitors, and tickets become field gear, saplings, and community programs near reserves. Outreach folds that interest back into the hills, so a panda trail in Sichuan grows safer because a child far away learned the slow, patient rhythm of a panda life. In snowy clearings, a panda becomes part of the mosaic of light and shadow. Wind combs powder into soft drifts around sturdy legs. Black fur drinks the pale glare, while white fur blends with open ground. The panda lowers its head and chews, steam rising in thin threads that vanish in the cold. Every movement is careful and spare, a brushstroke against winter, where quiet and patience keep warmth close. In spring rain, a panda follows the smell of new shoots only pandas notice. Drops bead on whiskers and darken bark. The path brightens with green, peppery hints. The panda presses through wet leaves, testing tips with teeth until the tender core yields. Rain hushes the forest into one long exhale, and each bite feels like a small stove lit inside. A gentle heat the panda carries along the trail. On old trails, a panda steps where pandas stepped for generations. A notch in a trunk, a flat stone at a creek, a dip in the ridge, landmarks the panda holds like a quiet map. Paws find the same safe grips. Scent marks edge the margins like notes in a family hand. The route wastes nothing, skirting thorns and steep fall, returning the panda by memory more than sight. At dusk, a panda pauses to listen for other pandas in the bamboo hush. The evening air holds messages, a faint bleat, a rubbed trunk catching dew, a careful rustle at a bend. The panda weighs distance and intention, then shifts a few paces to keep the peace. Twilight thins the world to silhouettes and breath, and courtesy lets the valley stay calm while night gathers. Under stars, a panda settles into a nest of leaves for unhurried panda sleep. The body makes a shallow bowl in the litter. Paws fold, jaw loosens, and the slow furnace of digestion keeps the core warm. Above, branches cross like quiet rafters, and streamlight flickers between them. The panda sighs once, almost a whisper to the hills, and lets the dark hold the rest. Conservation shows a panda can rebound when pandas get space and time. In reserves where bamboo stands are linked and quiet is kept, A panda finds mates, avoids roads, and raises cubs at the mountain's pace. Ranger patrols, patient breeding plans, and corridors stitched across valleys stack small advantages. Given shelter from haste, a panda does what it always does: eat, rest, and grow a family until numbers rise again. Local communities thrive when a panda brings ecotourism and panda pride. Guides lead slow walks, guest houses serve warm soups, and craft shops sell bamboo work, turning forest care into daily income. A panda creates ranger jobs and scholarships. Clinics and schools follow safer trails. When a village sees that a living forest feeds families, the panda's green home becomes everyone's asset worth guarding. Forest neighbors like snub-nosed monkeys benefit when a panda gets corridors. The same bridges of shade carry takin, pheasants, and small carnivores, while streams run cleaner under stitched canopies. A panda's path mends slopes that hold soil and slow floods. By connecting patches for a panda, planners reconnect an entire community. So many quiet lives move safely between seasons. Step by step, a panda story becomes a wider story for forests and pandas. Camera traps trace where a panda actually walks. Genetics map kinship. Village maps mark favorite springs and groves. Planted gullies grow into green ladders a panda can climb. With each data point and sapling, the puzzle aligns, and a panda landscape emerges, continuous, breathable, and shared. In the end, a panda teaches that slow, steady care lets pandas quietly flourish. Nothing flashy is required. A corridor grown, a patrol kept, a hillside left whole. A panda's patience becomes the plan. Small, repeated acts that add up to safety. When people match that rhythm, the bamboo calendar keeps turning, and the panda keeps living the calm life it was built for. Night settles softly over the bamboo, and the valley grows quiet. Leaves ease their breathing. Water threads the stones. And somewhere, a panda turns once in its nest of green and becomes still. You can let your jaw unclench, your shoulders loosen, and your thoughts stack themselves like smooth pebbles beside a stream. There is nothing left to gather. The forest keeps your place, and the calm we made together lingers like cool air on the skin. If you're still awake, you might hold a single picture. A panda curled like a comma of night, black and white melting into shadow while the creek keeps time. Let your breath match that hush. Slow in, slower out, as if the whole hillside exhales with you. The stars are steady, the path is simple, and the page will wait until morning. Rest now, warm and unhurried. Good night.